So the US government have issued an update on student visa application. In this video, I'm going to explain and share with you what this update is and share with you all your options and what you need to do in order to get your visa approved. Things are changing really fast and you need to get updated. So let's get right into the video. So yesterday, the US Department of State released more or less like a communique or an update on their Facebook page about F1 or student visa application. And this is what it says: announcement of expanded screening and vetting for visa applicants. Pay attention, this is very important. Statement for immediate release. So if you are an international student, this is really important and this is really something you must pay attention to. The State Department is committed to protecting our nation and our citizens by upholding the highest standard of national security and public safety through our visa process. A US visa is a privilege, not a right. That is interesting. We use all available information in our visa screening and vetting to identify visa applicants who are inadmissible to the United States, including those who pose a threat to the US national security. So that is important. Those who pose a threat. And we'll come back to that statement, because what is the definition of threat or who pose a threat? Under new guidance, we will conduct a comprehensive and thorough vetting, including online presence, of all student and exchange visitor applicants in the F, M, and J non-immigrant visa classification. Now, so this is something that is huge. And when the embassies or when the US State Department release something like this is not like a bluff. Like, they are going to actually scrutinize. They are going to actually do what they say they are going to do. We will come back to this detail very soon. But let's continue to what is most important. To facilitate this vetting, so now they are going to explain how all applicants for M, F, and J non-immigrant visas will be instructed to adjust their privacy settings on all of the social media profile to public. This is quite interesting. So basically, you have to adjust your settings. So on all your social media platforms, if you're on Facebook, make sure that you adjust your settings from private to public. I will explain what that means. There are some people that you cannot view their profile if you are not their friends or if you are not following them. So if you are applying for visa, you must make sure that you have unchecked the privacy sec, which allows anyone to view your profile. That means the embassy can conduct their investigation about who you are, right? Our overseas post will resume scheduling F, M, and J non-immigrant visas soon. So which means that they are talking about reopening application or reopening the visa appointment portal for people who are yet to book their visa interview to book. Applicants should check the relevant embassies on consulate website for appointments available. Every visa adjudication is a national security issue, and this is huge. So now the State Department is going further to say that now when we are issuing visas, we are also thinking about national security. We are thinking about who we are bringing in our country, and to do that, we must make sure that we get those who meet a very specific requirement that do not pose threat to national security. The US state must be vigilant during the visa issuance process to ensure that those applying for admission into the United States do not intend to harm Americans and our national interests, and that all applicants credibly establish their eligibility for the visa sought, including that they intend to engage in activity consistent with the terms of their admission. So now let's break this down. First of all, this is something that is huge. I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know the legal implication, because there are some people who, for some reason, want to keep their social media, part of their life on social media, separate or private from some people, right? So if you go to Facebook, for example, there are some people you cannot view their profile, you cannot see their activities, what they are doing, what they post, what they comment, unless you are a friend or you follow them. And this is something the embassy want to change, that make sure that setting is off. So what does this mean? What can I do? If I'm going for visa interview, it means that I should make sure that my social media platforms are viewable. by everyone, including the visa officers. That is why recently we've seen a lot of administrative processing. We've seen that most people, even though they have obvious approval, the visa officer will give them the 221G letter telling them that we have to do our background check. And by that, what they mean is that they are going to check social media. They are going to do research about you, Google, read what you post on social media, things you follow, things you like, some of the things, comments you give. So now social media is becoming huge. And I believe that as the US State Department is taking this decision, many people are going to follow. Other countries are going to initiate some of these policies in their visa application process. So we should take our social media seriously. First of all, make sure that you clean everything on your social media that suggests violence. And I don't know what clean means, but you have to ensure that you represent yourself for who you are. So make sure that you have your profile picture to be you have your name to be your name. You cannot be called Alfred Appiah and on your social media, on your Facebook, you are Tawaski Do. Make sure that your name is consistent with what you present for your visa, at least for the purpose of the visa application. If you are not applying for visa, nobody mind, like nobody cares how you deal with your social media. But if you want to apply for US visa now, this is something that is coming. I don't know how people are going to push back to this decision and to what extent this is against privacy issue, but who am I? Like, I'm not a lawyer, so I cannot speak into detail. Also, when you are filling your DS-160 form, make sure that you include all your social media handles. So the DS-160 form asks you specifically your social media platforms that you join. If you have 3 social media, select all of them, and the name that you use, you put those names down. This is very, very important for you because we don't know what they are looking for. We don't know how things are going. So this news is kind of confusing, and the thing is also kind of ambiguous when they talk about privacy. What do they mean? What are they looking for? Because there are some people who want to hide their date of birth. They want to hide their relationship. Why must I be forced to put my relationship, something I want to hide? That's why there's a reason why they put the privacy there. It is for a purpose. So why must I uncheck it? Of course, if you are coming for visa, these are their terms. If you want to enter our country, these are their terms that they are putting on board. It is quite debatable, but as I said, make sure that you do the right thing, you conform to this. Also, as you are preparing for interview, understand that the scrutiny is going to be high. For me, I'm not so worried or concerned about most Africans, because most of the people we interact with are not people who are so violent or people who follow some terrorist group or violent organization. So for most people in Africa, in Ghana, and most young students that are interacted, I know this in terms of national security threat. I know we may not have issues, but we don't know what they are looking for, right? It could be a comment about your own country's political issue, a certain comment that suggests violence, a certain comment that suggests we don't know. We don't know what they are looking for. So make sure that you become very careful about what you do on social media now. And even beyond visa, social media is now big. It's huge for employment purposes, for admissions and all that. Make sure it represents who you are. Now, for the visa date, we've seen that there's an announcement that visa date is going to be released, but there are no dates. So what you need to do is keep checking. And of course, there are some people who are not going to get dates. Some people are going to miss their school resumption date. They are going to miss their school start date. It is sad, but that is the reality. So make sure that you prepare. You have alternatives. And the big thing that people don't talk about, and for me, the ethical issue about it is that most of us have paid our visa fee, our service fee. We are not getting dates. Most of us will not get a date because the embassy do not have the capacity to accept everybody. What's happened? Why will I lose my money if I don't get a visa date? And most people have to pay service fee twice, and we don't have anybody questioning, anybody raising issue. Our government and societal leaders, politicians are not probing and asking about some of these obvious ethical borderline issues. Because if I apply for visa and I don't get a date, now I am not able to attend, or I'm not able to be interviewed in order to come to school, and I have paid the visa fee. What happened? Why do I lose my visa fee? When the U.S. Embassy changed from their old portal to the new portal, a lot of people lost money. A lot of people who had already booked for appointment lost their appointment. They lost their money. A lot of people were coming for visitors visa.